What are we going to feed during the flowering stage? Nutrition, nutrients. What if I told you everything you're doing has been wrong during the flowering stage? And who sent me these products? And what's in them? And should I use them during my flowering stage? I'll get back to those products closer to the end, but I want to get in to what we use to be successful. You don't want your plants to look like this guy. You know the guy, Charlie Brown. You know, the way that I was taught to grow craft cannabis outside starts in the fall. And that's with the soil amendments. What you're gonna get later on depends on what you do with your soil. So that's why it's so important to be loyal to the soil. But now I wanna share with you a couple of things that I like to do during the flowering stage, which, you know, the way I have been taught. But if you know some other methods, that's what the comments are for. Put what works for you during the flowering stage. And if you do use products, let me know which ones. But with me, it's not what you use with the products and stuff. I want to tune in. And maybe that's why this channel's a little different and why we have that electrifying, psychedelic, craft cannabis that everybody's looking for. My indicas don't sedate you and knock you out, you know. My indicas, or what they call indicas, it gives you more of that dreamy calm. I'm not looking to get knocked out. That's not what cannabis is supposed to do. Growing outdoors, you have to be in tuned in. And I always talk about, are you tuned in or tuned out? Are you listening? Knowing the cycles of the moon. And you know, this might sound crazy, but in the flowering stage, it's really not crazy. And let me tell you why. The 12-12 light cycle, 12 hours night, 12 hours day, triggers that flowering stage. This is the shift in nature that we're looking for, that it's time to go from veg to flowering cycle. But let me tell you a deeper knowledge. September 26th brings that harvest moon. So that's optimal timing to bring in the harvest planning, the garden work that we need to get done. So when we're working with the solar and lunar light cycles, that's what brings the plant success. That equinox triggers the biological flowering response that we're looking for in the garden. So the harvest moon provides us that light for that evening task that we're looking for. And I'll show you when we harvest, and I'm hoping to do it on that day because it's a special time to harvest, because we're harvesting the plant completely wrong. But I want to get back to the flowering. Harvesting is coming up. If you're a smart grower, you're aligning your plant feeding, your plant growing with these alignments. So we need to take advantage of these cycles that are naturally provided. It's getting as much natural from the atmosphere, from Mother Earth, from what's out here. We're provided everything we need, the rain, the soil. We're gonna go through some nutrient navigation. Are you ready to go down this road with me? I need you to step in to tell me what you're using so I can, you know, maybe be more successful, and some of the new growers can be. There's a lot of great channels out there that, you know, have a lot of grow things about the plant, but I'm trying to simplify it to get you into the garden to show that you're able to do exactly what we've been doing. So that's why I want to share this with you. Everybody's sharing what we're trying to do and get the best out of this cannabis, so you don't have those Charlie Brown trees that we showed you earlier. So we gotta ask the plant, and this is like reading your plant, what is my plant asking for now during this critical flowering stage? When do we feed, or when to hold back? Garbage in, garbage out. The plant's gonna do what it's going to do right now, because we've gave it all that preparation prior to planting them in the ground, because we're loyal to the soil. Nothing like live soil makes such a big difference. And the tree, the plant, is not confined to a prison. It's able to stretch its roots and get as big as it wants to get. And then knowing when the timing is right to change the vegetative stage to the flowering. What are we looking for in the plants? I'm going to have Shell Bell show you that the flowering stage has begun. So this is what you should be looking for when you're going to change from vegetative to flowering.
Here's our Durban poison. You can see there's the granny candy, has the hairs.
So the hairs is where the buds are going to come out?
Yes.
So the Durban poison has started flowering earlier than some of them. We're going to have to keep an eye on it when we're going to harvest her.
That's true. This one honey bear has just the hair sites too, but no buds. They're all in the flowering stage. I can see all of them have that, the bud sites.
So reading your plants, they're telling you what they need right now. We're out of the veg state caterpillars. We're going into the flowering stage. So now is the time to tune in to the nutrition and nutrients that we're going to give them in the flowering stage. So I want to share with you what has worked for us throughout our growing experience that we have done here in Ohio. You know, we use bananas. Who would have thought bananas? But you can make this beautiful banana fruit fermented tea, fruit fermented juice, whatever you want to call it. And all you're doing is taking those, ripe bananas, those really, ones that kind of you didn't use or whatever, or just get a bunch, put them out and slice them up and then boil them in a pot, pour it in a bowl, and you got some banana tea there. So the bananas have natural potassium in them. We all learned that when we were in school. So feed them the banana tea. That's what we have done. Fermentation makes it so available right to the plant right away. This is part of that willow tree that I took down that was blocking a lot of the sun, and I was having trouble with the roots, and I replaced that willow tree with a garden that has been very great for Shell Bell's vegetables and our vegetables, which I'm thankful for because of all the parasites that's going around in our food supply. But this willow log, I put it on the fire here, get some ash, and then I put it in the water. Willow water is some of the best nutrients. So why do we use the willow water? Because it provides that potassium, calcium, and magnesium that they're looking for in that flowering stage. So willow water, if you got a willow tree, you don't need to put a log in it. You can just take some of the branches off and soak them in there. Another method that I like to use, and I like to call this guy for some bat burgers. You got to have the bat burgers if you're going to have that psychedelic cannabis that we're looking for. There's nobody more psychedelic than this guy right here.
May I recommend bat burgers?
Bat burgers? 2 bat burgers, doubles.
I use the bat guano. Why wouldn't I use the bat guano? If Batman's eating it, it's good enough for my plants to eat it. Why do I use the bat guano? It's because it provides that phosphorus that I'm looking for to develop those flower buds. So other alternatives that some people have stepped in, so I want to touch upon it, is the kelp meal, K-E-L-P meal. Check that out. I've been told that might work, but I've never used the kelp meal. The fishbone meal provides that calcium and the phosphorus also, but I've never used the fishbone meal. So let me know if you have and how that has worked out for you. These methods that I'm sharing with you are a lot different and gives you an alternative than those expensive bottles that they're trying to sell you, because at the end of the day you could end up with 30 bottles and you're going to be putting all of that on there and you're going to burn your plants. So those $30 to $50 bottles, they contain the same thing that we're doing naturally here with your do-it-yourself fertilization. And a lot of times you're just paying for the marketing and packaging, just like what they do at the dispos. It's all about the marketing and the packaging. You think you're getting a good quality product, and then you bring it home and you're like, what? Who put this in this bag? What is this? How can they even sell this? So the banana juice, it rivals some of the most expensive products that they have, and it provides that potassium. You want to make sure that you're getting the organic back guano, because you don't want it high in nitrogens, you want it high in the phosphorus. And one of my superfoods, I just like to take this ash catcher, I put it in there, put some of this hardwood, catches the ash, and then I'm putting it around the plant. That provides everything that it needs, all that burnt ash, and it's safe. And I want to get back to the products that one of our caterpillars have sent us, Alaskan More Bloom. It's a liquid in a bottle. And then we have this here that somebody sent us, this Recharge Compost Tea. How are we going to use this? Should I be even using this based on what my methods are? I don't want to jump the gun like I did taking out the male plant, because that's for another time. But that could have been cornbread mafia seed, and I yanked it out by its balls. So stay tuned for the update on that, because I got a lot of repercussion from doing that, and the family that brought that seed reached out to me. Maybe we can use these products if we decide. I have doubles of some of the plants, and we can do a comparison, but how to run this, I'm trying to put it together. We have doubles of the Granny Candy, the Honey Bear, and the Blue Dream. Do we really want to put stuff on like this? Let me know which you guys are thinking, and I can use my method and then maybe some of this Recharge or some of this Alaskan Bloom. And let me know if any of you have used these products and what your outcome was with them. I just can't imagine that I'm not going to get exactly what I've been using through this, that it's going to get any better. Does the plant already determine the flowers because of what you've done with the soil? But can we really boost that density, that tightness, the trichomes, the terpenes, the cannabinoids that we're looking for? So mastering the nutrition, the nutrients that we're looking for, comes down to really visualizing to what the plant is telling you what it needs. Timing and working with natural systems instead of forcing them, instead of against them. I'm always talking about let it go where we're going to go. Let the universe take us where it is. That's why I put this out there. I ask, where is this channel taking us? Where are we going? I rather have those who come here for the right reasons, to grow in the garden and to also grow out of the garden, because the plant is so much more than what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to connect with you in a community that I love to be around, and it's going on right around us. Alcohol sales are down. We're knowing that putting that poison and what good crafted, homegrown, knowing what's in it, what we have put in it, is so much more beneficial to our system. Make sure you're reading your plants daily. I come out here about 3 or 4 times a day just to talk with the plants, just to make that connection with the plants and which way they want to show me to go. Always assess the soil conditions. I've had a lot of rain here the past couple days here in Ohio, and so you can tell how wet everything is. Still a nice breeze coming through, so you have to keep, an eye on the rain, on what's coming down on your plant, and get the nutrients and nutrition down when you can take advantage of that rain so it can reach that root system. When we started this, I try to align with the environment cycles. I like a full moon to do the harvest. I like to harvest it in the darkness, and that'll be a whole other reason why, and why we get the most benefit when we do it in the dark. Make sure we're choosing nutrients that feed the plant and the soil. That's not going to bring harm to it. These growers that are showing you these beautiful plants and stuff, it's not that they're using expensive products. They're using the most effective methods at the right time. And how do you know when that time is? You have to know your plants. That's the connection that we make. That's why we love doing this, is because of the relationship that you make in the garden. I love when we are stepping into the garden as a community and sharing what works for you and the other growers that are out here. And the only way to do that is if we use the comments to kind of, make suggestions, what has worked for you. So I always want to take the time to welcome, our new family members. Welcome to the family. When I put something out, I wanted to find those people that are looking for something a little bit different, something that's real, something that has worked for me that I want to try to give to you, and I want you to try to make it even better with the knowledge and experience that you have had. Take the time to let me know where you're at and what you've been growing. So you might think that I'm gone, but not too far gone, because I'll be seeing you in the next video, and I'll meet you in the comments.